Hello there, and welcome everyone out there in HeroClix land. Long time no see. I am the Muse. I am so happy to be here on WizKids channels with the wonderful and the fantastic Mr. Scott Porter over here. Hi, Scott. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you as well. You took my line. I usually, what's up, everybody
I
out there?
know.
HeroClix land.
I
Ah,
know. I thought I'd sneak
now I
that
know
one
what
over
to
you.
say.
You can say it on the way out. How's that one? Goodbye.
No, it's all good. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so much for taking part again in this event. It really
Absolutely.
means the world to me, and is so appreciated.
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful cause. It's a fantastic event. I am thrilled to hear that this is something that is taking off and is happening yet again. Because I know about this time last year, we were pretty well similar places, right? We were sitting in similar places. Maybe not so much you because you're elsewhere right now, but we were chatting about the first one and everything that was going
Yeah,
into the planning for that one. And now we're looking at the second one, which is
y-
fantastic.
yeah. Last year it was a little bit different. We were gearing up and hoping that we could do this virtually because last year was still at the height of everything, and
Hmm.
and and it was all virtual. And this year we're kind of switching to a hybrid mode, and I think the nerves are the same. I think last year we weren't sure if we could pull it off, and this year I think we're a little more confident, but also still going, okay, it's almost like the first time all over again, because
Hmm.
now this is the first time that we're doing in-person stuff. And we're still, rest assured, for people who can't make it, we're still going to have a small virtual presence with our auction and some other things, but we'll get to that later in the chat.
Okay, amazing. So yes, if you're not familiar with HeroClix for Huntingtons, this is something that is happening now for its second year in a row. We did do a stream like this last year. If you're curious to see what that first year was like, you could always go and check it out on the YouTube channel for WizKids. It's sitting there in their video log. Also, I recommend you check out the description because there's some fantastic video links about some background information that are quite pertinent for Scott and his family as well. So do be sure to go check that video out. Not right now. You stay here with us, but later on you can check that one out. But we're going to focus on HeroClix for Huntington's Year 2. Now, when is this going to be happening?
Yeah, HeroClix for Huntington's year two is going to be happening May 5th through the 8th, so the beginning of May. It was the only weekend we could find to actually host the event, just with schedules all the way around. And, we looked at it and I said, it's Mother's Day weekend, elephant in the room. It is Mother's Day weekend. It's also Cinco de Mayo. And I know a lot of people will be celebrating in different ways that weekend.
Mhm.
But I figured, what better way to celebrate than to try and raise money for a great cause for families who are not as fortunate as many of us out there. And my mother-in-law is symptomatic with Huntington's disease, and to catch everybody up, Huntington's disease is a neurodegenerative genetic disease that is, described as having ALS and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's all rolled into one. It is genetic in that your body creates too much of a protein that just breaks down cells and nerve cells in the brain, and it takes your cognitive, your motor skills, all of those things away. And my mother-in-law is symptomatic, and we have been fighting to try and find a cure for the last 7 years. My wife and I have been involved with the Huntington's Disease Society of America, and we've raised quite a bit of money, including last year's event, which raised 30 grand for the cause. So I figure, if I'm not going to be around my wife, if I'm not going to be around my family on a weekend, what better reason to do it than to be raising money in service of others and trying to help others, and you know help the Huntington's Disease Society of America arm themselves with everything they need to be able to create centers of excellence for families who are battling Huntington's to go to, and to help try and find a cure. And the way that we battle is by rolling dice on maps, and that's what we're going to do. So May 5th through the 8th, down in Huntsville, Alabama, at Lucky Dice. It is also in conjunction with Rock, and it's going to be the Rock National Championships as well as this big charity tournament. We're going to have a ton of stuff all rolled into one.
That's fantastic. And if you want a way to get more information right at your fingertips, I'm going to pop into the chat right now the official link. So if you want to read up on it, you want to get more information, go to heroclixforhuntingtons.com, and that will give you a rundown of what to expect for this year. But we have the lovely advantage of Scott being here with us right now to talk about the ins and the outs and the behind the scenes and what we can expect. And we've been chatting ahead of time, folks. And let me tell you, there's some stuff here. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So I'm excited to share this with everyone. In terms of, we're focusing on this being more of a community getting together in one spot. So how's that pulling together for this year as opposed to what was done virtually online last year?
Yeah, it's been a few years since I feel like the community has really gotten together and rolled dice and just sat across from each other and just connected. This community is incredible. It's very tight knit and it supports a lot of great causes. I mean, there are a lot of different events throughout the year or throughout the years that I have been a part of, whether in person or online. And when we band together, we can really do huge things. And I just, it was so great to talk to everybody online and hear people's voices, but I want to see people's faces. I want to hang out with people. I want to play. And I'm going to be able to do that all weekend long. I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all day, each of those 3 days. But on the 5th, there's still a welcome event for everybody who's getting in on that Friday. I mean, on that Thursday as well. There's a welcome event, a smaller sealed tournament using some old stuff. It's like $15 per. Has a lot of fans of using the older stuff, and it's also supported with a trophy that Scott Crampton actually made from Clix, and he will be awarding a trophy that night. And it's going to be a special evening for everybody who gets there on Thursday. As we lead into Friday, I'm going to be taking part in something called the Scott Porter vs. the World sealed tournament. And I'm going to be able to sit down and play my favorite style of HeroClix with everybody that can come. And I'm going to be playing in the actual sealed tournament. It's the first time that I will be playing in person in over 4 years. And that is the longest period of time that I've gone without actually getting to a gaming store, getting to a comic shop and sitting down and playing, whether locally or at a big convention or at a big event like this. So for me, it's a really, really big deal I feel like I talk to these people every time I do an unboxing. I feel like I'm speaking with them, but I don't ever actually get to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just really important for me to get out there. And I feel like a lot of the community feels the same way, that we have friends all over this country that we're all bound together by this game loosely, but we have become true friends over the years. And you start to count on being able to go to events like this as the time you're going to see your buddy, as the time you're going to see your group of friends, as the time you're going to be surrounded by people that love the things you love. And it really has a kind of a sense of feeling like you're at home a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the rest of the course of the weekend, we're going to have some really intense tournaments. There's a 3v3 Extreme Highlander tournament that is a team tournament that's going to take place on Saturday. We're going to have, of course, the Scott Porter Invitational, Rock National Championship, Silver Age tournament on Sunday. And the prizes for this stuff is out of this world. But we're also going to have battle royales, both online and in person. And I'm going to be playing in a bunch of those. And the big piece of all of this for everybody internationally is we're going to do a big auction as well on Friday night. And that's going to have a ton of just incredible prizing in it, including the God Pack that I pulled from Disney Plus in my last unboxing. That's going to be up for bid and everything. So I'm sure we can get into the more of the nitty gritty stuff, but that's kind of what is going on over the course of that entire weekend. And like you said, HeroClixforHuntingtons.com has the full event schedule listed. It has the pricing and everything there as well. But, a ton of this money is going to be going to the charity. It's going to be going to HDSA, the Saturday tournament, 100% of the proceeds, the auction, 100% of the proceeds, the sealed tournament, the battle royales, 50% of the proceeds. So, rest assured that no matter what you are competing in or playing in or taking part in, whether in person or virtually, that money is going to a great, great cause. And, it just means the world to me to get, like I said, in a room with other people that I just have so much in common with. And I know, virtually for so many years, but now being able to put a face to the voice is just really gonna be important to me.
Awesome. Now, just keep in mind, everyone, I'm seeing a couple things popping up in the chat. For some reason, Twitch may have hiccuped on you. You might have to refresh your page, and the stream should still be live because I've just checked everything. We're good on my end. Sometimes Twitch likes to Twitch. So just refresh that button and hopefully that should work. However, if you're still here on the other two, Facebook and YouTube, hi, we are going to do a Q&A at the end of sort of our info dump, I guess is the best way to put it. So after we go through some things, we are going to have an open Q&A. When we get to that point, what I'm going to ask you is to type all in caps question And guess what? Your question to follow after that one, it makes it a lot easier for me to see it and pull it, and I shall ask Scott for you. So before we get to the whole Q&A session, which yes, it will be happening, what should we start sharing in terms of goodies? Because boy, are there goodies
Oh
to
man.
share.
Well, I mentioned all of the events that we have going on. Well, all of those events have massive prizing. Um, the auction in and of itself is going to be just as solid as it was last year. And by solid, I mean just stuff that you can't get anywhere else, and stuff that you won't be able to get for months and months and months away, as far as conventions exclusives and stuff. We have very unique prizing to our event. We have create a bystander that's going to be annually. That's going to be an annual prize. Last year we had the Scott Porter bystander. This year we have one that we'll look at in a little bit that was created by Matthew Ventura, last year's winner. We have create a legacy card. We have become a HeroClix. Those are really, really great. But throughout the course of the weekend, we also have sealed factory sets, chase sets, and so these things will be available in a lot of different places. But that's what makes our event really unique, is that we have a ton of prizing that is only for us. Every single year, you can look forward to us having one of those bystanders premiere at our event and become tournament legal immediately. You're going to be able to look forward to figuring out who last year's winner chose as a legacy card. You're going to be able to really anticipate what new map we're going to have, because last year we had a Hyper RPG Studios map. This year, I'm proud to announce that we are going to have Panthers Fieldhouse, which is a Friday Night Lights set piece, where the iconic Clear Eyes, Full Hearts Can't Lose speech by Coach Taylor took place. And it's something that we've never seen in HeroClix before. We've never had the inside of a football locker room,
That's so
and
cool.
the map it's going to be so
I love
awesome.
it.
And so that's really cool. That's something that we do that nobody else
Mhm.
really does. And the fact that we're also tied into Rock at this point means that when people come to play, they're not only playing for this awesome prizing, they're also playing for titles that people have been battling for years. National champion. When you play in the Scott Porter Invitational this year, the title of national champion is going to be attributed to that winner. So, I'd say there's going to be more information about what we're going to have in the auction coming up. But I would say one of the things I know for sure that is going to be auctioned off is a chance to become your very own sculpt HeroClix figure. Last year we had 3 of these available. One was in the theme tournament, one was in the modern tournament, and one was up for bid in our auction. And I think that we have art from
We
the
do.
final HeroClix figures that were made for our
Yep.
3 winners last year. So we'll
Yep.
take a peek at those. This is TJ Bozilla. You can see he put himself in a big suit of armor. You got Kyle Mitten there, the king of the north, as we called him last year, who bid, I think, almost $4,000 to
Oh,
become a
wow.
HeroClix. And that's Brad Broyles, who also was one of the winners of our modern event. So those 3 sculpts are incredible, and I think they're going to be on a loop. Everybody can get a solid look at those there. But the process of putting yourself into HeroClix hasn't really been done in this way before, and won't be done anywhere else except for at HeroClix for Huntington's.
Uh-huh.
You have your likeness. You can say, what you would like to wear. TJ, I think, is in the chat saying, "Who's that
Yeah,
hunky fella
yeah,
there
yeah.
in
I
the
see JJ.
armor?"
Hi.
You kind of go through this step-by-step process, and TJ can attest to this, where you say, "Look, this is what I would really like to wear," and they send you some art mock-ups, and you say, "Yeah, this is looking awesome." Or you could be like Brad and say, "Look, you know what? I just want to pet my cat,
I
man."
love that.
And that's so cool that Brad's just down on his knees, just petting the
Uh-huh.
cat. It's like you can be anything you want, and when you get it, it's unpainted. You can paint it any color that you want to. You can pick out your color scheme. You can get everything put together. And then the coolest part of all, this HeroClix figure, it's just the figure. You can put it on any dial you want. It's tournament legal. You can play it anywhere. Any HeroClix dial you can play it on. So, I think it's really cool that you can put yourself on the map, and just kind of have you be your own champion there, which I think is such a unique situation, something that you can only find here at HeroClix for Huntington's. And I think these scopes all turned out so
They
awesome.
are lovely. I mean, they have such
Yeah.
personality for each one of them. And again, so unique and so special. And I love the fact that it's connected to the charity event itself because it becomes this memorable piece as a result. So, I mean, I'm honestly excited to see what happens for whoever wins it this year for what they do next year.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? I do gotta say, Kyle Mitten, if you don't write King of the North on your cape, I think it's a missed opportunity. That's how you will always be known.
Uh-huh.
Last year's auction was so it was so kinetic. It was awesome. It's going to be the exact same way this year.
Okay.
It's going to be held through Auxit, and we're going to open the auction up the Monday before our event, and people are going to be able to look at everything that is up for bid in the auction. They're going to be able to really take their time, figure out what they want to bid on, and then at 8 p.m. Central, that Friday, the 6th, myself and Howard will pop on. We'll do a live stream for the final hour. The auction will end at 9 p.m. Central on Friday night. And the way that auctions work through Auxit, just so everybody understands, is you bid, and once it hits, the clock hits 0, it does kind of go into overtime bidding, where if an item doesn't receive a bid for another minute, it closes out. But if people keep on bidding, those things will stay up and they will stay running until the final
Oh.
bid has been cast. And so there's like a half-hour long overtime period,
Mhm.
but the whole entire auction should be wrapped up by 9:30 p.m. that Friday night. So, you know, be on the lookout when that auction opens up through Auxit. And there's details for how to sign up for Auxit if you've never used Auxit. It is international, it is worldwide. We were able to get bids from everybody across the world. We will ship across the world. Everybody out there that can't attend, that tournament weekend in person will still have an ability to take part in the auction.
Mhm.
And we're really looking forward to seeing how people respond to all of that.
That's incredible. That really is wonderful. And it definitely had
Yeah,
that, like, true life auction. Like, have you ever been to a real auction where the paddles and everything are going? Like, the fact
yeah.
there's that carryover, you get that, like, thing going on. So I think it's a
Well,
great.
that was Kyle. Kyle, there was a number of people that were involved in the Switch Clicks bidding, and then Kyle was just he was relentless. He would not be. He kept on throwing up
Get
that
throwing the
paddle,
paddle.
and he was like, and eventually it was just the entire room. Hundreds of
See?
people are just watching this ball bounce back and forth, trying to
Mhm.
figure this out. Who's going to win? I think there was a coalition of people that had
Yeah.
pooled some money together, and they were
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
It was really,
See?
really cool. It was like the opening episode or the second episode of the Hawkeye Disney Plus series,
Oh, yeah.
where Haley Steinfeld's down at the basement.
Yep.
Everybody's bidding on this weaponry and everything.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of what it felt like. So I can't wait to do it again this year.
Amazing. Amazing. And again, all for a fantastic cause. And as mentioned before, international. So, regardless of where you are, you can participate because I know that was a question that came up last year too.
Yeah.
And so we have those. What else do we want to tap into? Because I'm looking at this big old list of goodies that we have going on
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I think we'll go a little bit more down the road of the things that we have that are unique to us. And last year we had the Scott Porter Pog, which I am proud to say that I've actually seen some very competitive play. It's been really cool to see that. We'll have Scott Porter Pog back this year. So if you missed out last year, you'll have opportunities still to win that, still tournament legal. And we still have about 250 of those available. So we'd love to get those out into people's hands. But one of the annualized prizes that we have an agreement with WizKids to do is create a bystander token. And last year, Matthew Ventura won the ability to design it, and we are proud to premiere it here. It is the spirit of the game. And it's so cool
It
because
is.
I was hoping that people would take last year was all about theme, about fellowship. The Huntington's Disease Society of America, their motto is family is everything, as you see here.
Yep.
And we came together as a family last year. And I wanted whoever won this year's piece to maybe create a support piece or something that felt like it was helping in some way, right? This cause of raising money, this mission that we're on to battle Huntington's. And then next thing I know, he blows me away creating Spirit of the Game. And this piece I think has I think it has a huge ability to see a lot of actual competitive play.
Mhm.
If you see there, he's got 7 range, he's got 7 movement. He's got Ghost Realm, which I think is a new keyword. He's also got Police and Mystical keywords, and then he's got this special damage power called Families Come in All Shapes and Sizes. And I love that the word families is a part of this.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
if Spirit of the Game is on a theme team at the beginning of your turn, action total +1. For anybody who plays this game, you understand how important getting extra actions are. And it is, I think, mind blowing that boom, you just have a free extra action as long as you're a part of this theme team. There are some really sneaky things that you could do. Doctor Strange is a recruiter, since this guy is mystical. Say he gets knocked out, you might be able to recruit him back into the board, into your KO area. There's some things that you can really pull off here. Remember, bystanders don't break theme, so he could be a part of any theme team. Spirit of the Game is just giving you an extra action, and that is a huge feather in your cap. It's a huge arrow in your arsenal. And the fact, though, that it ties back into family, it makes me really, really proud. So Matthew Ventura down there in Orlando, I got to say thank you so much, man. What an awesome design, and thank you to WizKids for helping this along. And man, it is a cool piece, and I think a lot of people are going to want it. And the only place you're going to be able to get it, at least for right now, is going to be the HeroClix for Huntington's event weekend. And this thing, you'll see it be a part of our Battle Royal prize pool. Just like last year, the Scott Porter bystander token was a part of the Battle Royal prize pool. This year, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to have some of these in the auction. We're going to have a bunch of these in both of the all three of the tournaments: the Sealed tournament on Friday, the team tournament on Saturday, and the Silver Age National Championship, the Scott Porter Invitational. It's the longest title of a tournament ever, by the way. The Scott Porter Invitational, HeroClix for Huntington, Silver Age Rock National Championship.
Breathe.
Okay. Yeah, but this will be prizing for all of those. I believe that the top 32 in each of those tournaments is going to take one of these home. So, you know, we've got a ton of avenues for people to be able to earn this pog, and I think it's going to be worth it for sure.
I mean, gosh, it's a wonderful design. I'm again excited to see what happens for next year too because of this.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, you know, what's so cool about this is last year we talked about this being an annual event, but it was virtual, and I think people weren't counting on it necessarily coming back. They weren't sure that these prizes were real. They were intangible prizes in a way. And now seeing the sculpts, seeing this bystander, I hope it's making it seem a little more real to people. And they're like, oh my gosh, like year over year, we're going to do this. We're going to do this year over year. And this is what you're playing for. And I think it's really cool.
It's wonderful. It is wonderful. Yeah. Okay, very cool. So where else would you like to travel with our lovely goodies?
Well, I guess we just go right down the line to what could be the next game-changing game element. And one of the things that's really cool here is no other event in the history of HeroClix has allowed you to do this. And as of right now, no other event will allow you to do this. And that is to help design a legacy card. Now, for players out there, for people out there who are watching, who maybe haven't played the game of HeroClix in recent years, maybe they're lapsed, maybe you're just fans of something else and you're tuning into this, legacy card allows you to take an older figure that has been retired and rework it and get it back into the field of play. It's tournament legal. And last year, Adam Friedman, who everybody out there knows as just a huge competitor, he decided that he wanted to design a legacy card, and he chose Leech from a set almost, I guess, 11 years ago now.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he brought it back into play. Leech is the legacy card that he chose, and he went pretty simple with it. This Leech, you'll see some changes. It has the Fantastic Four keyword now, which it didn't have back then. That was kind of the dark ages when Marvel wasn't really using Fantastic Four anywhere for any reason, for reasons that shall go unmentioned. But at 25 points, this little guy who was from the Giant Size X-Men set is back, and he's back with a vengeance. He's got a trait that says power negation. Adjacent characters can't use powers. period.
Hey.
So in a game where
Hey.
powers are just so rampant now, with the addition of the Fantastic Four keyword, you see he's got Power Pack, X Factor, X-Men, and Morlocks. He could just swing in and shut your power off, all of them. And I think again, people are going to look at this at first, possibly go, huh, I'm not sure. Ooh, there's not much to it, but then go, oh, wait a minute. Oh no, actually, no, I think this is super good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this might be game changing. So
Mm-hmm.
I know a man that likes to wear an Infinity Gauntlet out there that would be very scared of this particular guy rolling up on him, maybe with everybody's favorite alien dog. Lockjaw is also Fantastic Four. Who knows? But I'm sure people will draw their own ways to field this guy.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's incredible. And I think it goes to show, I think last year when people were going, design a legacy card, I'm not sure what we could do with that.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, now we have Adam Friedman's Leech, and I think people's wheels are just going to start turning in their
Yeah.
head.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
a prize that people weren't sure what the value of it was are now going, wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's wow. If I get
That
to
does a
design something
thing.
along these
Yeah.
lines, yeah, this
Yeah.
could be huge. So that's really cool. So I'm very excited to see all of these designs come to fruition and really be impactful in a big way, just like this weekend is. This whole weekend's impactful, and the prizing that we're seeing therein is also very impactful.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've had
Yeah.
fun with our previous designs for the Switch Clicks.
Right.
We got to see
hmm
Spirit of the Game. Leech is
hmm
sitting right there right now. Where should we go from here?
hmm Yeah. Let me see. All right. So, well, the Pog you can win at this tournament, and it's tournament legal right away. Let's talk about other things you could win throughout the weekend,
Okay.
that you're actually only going to be able to get here at our tournament for quite some time. And as that is some upcoming convention exclusive figures that people were thinking they would have to wait until August for Gen Con or Memphis in the fall. You're actually going to be able to win them this weekend at the
Mm-hmm.
HeroClix for Huntington's event, both in the auction and in some of the tournaments. And that's going to be, I think the first one we'll take a look at is Harley Quinn.
Yes,
Uh,
it is.
yeah, Harley Quinn's going to have a bit of a partner with Punchline later on in the year, but you'll be able to get Harley Quinn right here at our event. The sculpt looks awesome. And, who doesn't love Harley Quinn? But what I love now is when we look at these images, we know that what we get in hand is going to look pretty much exactly like this
Yes.
image here.
Yep.
The sculpts, the paint. When I talk to people who haven't seen HeroClix in a while, they're like, "Oh yeah, I used to play HeroClix." And I'm like, let me take a look, and they're like, "Whoa,
Whoa. Yeah.
it looks so
Yeah.
good! It looks so much better than they used to." Harley, I think, is a prime example of that. You can see the paint, all the detail in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you know what? I usually do unboxings. I feel like I'm going to do one here. Everybody out there, you can pause, you can code this dial, but just know that we have 4 of these on hand that we're going to be giving out in different ways throughout the entire weekend. But you can see she's got a couple of traits there. She's got a special attack there called a big beeping blaster.
I love
She
it.
also has a special attack power that's in cap. That's a big beeping hammer. And I love it. I love that she's got prob. I think this piece is definitely capable of a lot. She's got Quake, she's got Flurry.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. She also has a don't die power. That special trait, this mouth don't shut easy. The first
Mm-hmm.
time Harley Quinn would be KO'd, you may instead turn her click to number 5 and place her adjacent to a friendly character within range. It's just, she's not easy to take off the board. The sculpt looks great. I think it's definitely worth playing for. We also have another convention exclusive in Spider-Hulk that is also available at our event. And again, you're going to be able to get your hands on it here, and not until the end of the summer are you going to be able to see it again. So we're getting an early look at this, and we're previewing, I guess, for the entire HeroClix community, Spider-Hulk here. Now, this Spider-Hulk is a really interesting thing, because on the back of the card, you see the Immortal Hulk, and you see the comic issue that they chose. But then you see the significant appearance is Web of Spider-Man number 70 from back in 1990. Now, if I remember correctly, this was it was kind of, he was doing some investigative journalism. Peter Parker he he got called away to go battle the Hulk. He had this ray, it was like a biokinetic ray that was created by the scientist he was investigating at the time. Turns out what it does is takes the biology of two beings and kind of intermingles them. So he ended up taking on some of the Hulk's powers. It's a pretty funny issue. It's him. The theme is this little like 4-pack of kids who are like troublemakers, who are looking to get, they're just looking to break into places, shoplift here and there. They keep on escaping the cops, and somehow they end up stealing the biokinetic thing out of a locker that Peter Parker has put it away in. And he ends up chasing them down, hulking out. They've got the ray, and they pull the Hulk powers out of him. So it's just a little one-off episode, or issue that I remember from back in the day. But this is a really, really fun version of that. It's 8 clicks long. It's 90 points. I am a little bummed that the color on the powers here. One of the things he says, and I think that old issue is, "Puny cops can't hurt Spider." I wish that would have been maybe for the toughness power. Puny cops can't hurt Spider. But everybody out there that's watching right now, everybody out there that is huge on like spoilers and dials and all those things, you can feel free to, as you're watching this in the future, you can pause this, you can code it, you can put it up into HC Realms or wherever you want to put it. But I think, again, a very fun figure that has some fun play, especially at your local tournaments and stuff. I would definitely want to show up with different versions of Spider-Man. I want to play this guy for sure. He's got Fantastic Four, he's got Spider-Man family, Brute, Monster, he's got Scientist, he's got a ton of stuff going for him. So, I do love that on the back of the card, they're able to show you a couple of different instances where Spider-Man is hulked out, So if you're interested, go back and read that issue, which that's the other thing I love about HeroClix and this community is I know a lot about comics. I don't know as much about gaming. So I love going and talking to guys who have a lot more experience in the gaming side of it and hearing their stories and getting advice from them. And then a lot of times they're like, "Hey, do you remember this character? Do you know this?" And I love sharing that information with them. It's such a cool community, and we share so much in common. And that's, again, it's fun to sit down with people and just chat. I know we're going to be playing throughout the weekend, but there's going to be moments where we're just catching up, and that's going to be one of the really cool things. Yeah. All right. We're going to spoil some other stuff here next, guys. Everybody in chat, we actually have all 4 of the Fantastic Thors. Now, later in the summer, they're going to come in a 4-pack. You're going to be able to get all 4 of these. Now, Fantastic Thors, I think some people don't know where they came from. Some people don't know where they're from. But it's the Thing, it's Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, it's Invisible in the ways that you have never seen them in before. It actually comes from Battle World, from Secret Wars. And it was a 1-page spread in a Battle World Siege is what it was called. It was a big story that revolved around Brant, and it revolved around the Shield, which is actually Ben Grimm, who was forced to create a wall around all the civilized nations in Battle World. These different pieces of planets that were just pulled together by this like world sinew and rubble and kind of pulled together, but needed protection. And God Emperor Doom sat on the throne, and he turned Johnny Storm into the sun, and he turned Ben Grimm into the wall that protected all of Battle World. And it's basically like Game of Thrones, the Wall of the North. That's what Ben was in Battle World. Well, Agent Brand was in charge of of the Shield in Battle World, and it was really where people who rebelled against God Emperor Doom were sent to live out their days, because south of the Wall there are the zombies, there are the Perfection, which is Ultron's forces, there is the Phalanx, there is Nick the Fury, who is Nick Fury, who went into the wilds to try and conquer some of them and ended up becoming bad himself. He knows all the secrets of the Shield, and so you go there basically to die. And the Fantastic Thors actually were part of God Emperor Doom's final line of defense, the Thor Corps. And the Thor Corps, the cool thing about them is it's all these Thors from different universes, anybody worthy of carrying the hammer. So in one universe, Sue Storm was capable of it. In one universe, Johnny Storm was capable of it. And the Johnny Storm looks like kind of like Surtur, like a Surtur Human Torch mix. It's really cool. Mr. Fantastic, who was made completely of Uru metal, which is this, this Asgardian metal that, the older. It's really really cool. The thing, of course, is also wielding a hammer. So it's those actual characters from different universes, the Fantastic Four, but all wielding hammers. And I
You
say
say we
let's
start
take a
showing
look at
them.
them.
Okay, let's go
Yeah,
with the thing since you just mentioned the thing, and oh my god,
yeah.
I just
I he looks great, but he's all of these you're going to see pack
mhm.
a pretty healthy punch. I mean, the first thing that struck me was just how many clicks long they are. Um, 9 clicks long, a ton of power is packed into their dials. You can see his damage capability up front is great. The Fantastic Thors as a trait gives them toughness, but they can reduce penetrating damage, which is awesome. We're seeing it more and more on some figures, this reduction of penetrating damage, but that's great. Also, a special move power, first the hammer, then the thing. I love the fact that he just throws Mjolnir in and then he comes
And
bounding in after it.
yeah.
So plasticity and running shot with a thing or a friendly character with the police keyword within range hits. After resolutions, you may place the thing adjacent to the hit character. That power is awesome. He's hitting you, he's doing damage, he's then just placing himself next to you,
hmm
and just you got to deal with him. You
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
It's awesome because he also has plasticity there. They've got stop clicks, 3 of them on the dial. So if you play the 100 point the thing, you've got to get through 3 different stop clicks. They've got regeneration on each of their stop clicks here. I think this character is I think this figure is very good. I think the sculpt is
hmm
awesome. And again, when you look at this paint job, you know that the dark wash that is really going to cause all that
Oh, it's
separation of
gonna
all the rocks on his bodies,
pop.
it's going to pop.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see it in person. And 4 different lucky winners throughout the course of our weekend are going to get to do that. They're going to do just that.
Yup.
So I'm super excited to share that with everybody.
Oh,
Who do we have
definitely.
next?
Let's go with Mr. Fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This Mr. Fantastic looks awesome. And I think at first glance, people are like, what is that? Like a Silver Surfer, Mr. No, 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 no. He's made
Metal.
completely of liquid uru. and,
Yeah.
and that is awesome. All right. So he's got Fantastic Thors as well. So toughness can reduce penetrating damage. They've got the Fantastic Four and police team abilities as well, because they're part of the Thor Corps, right? They're part of the big police force that helps protect God Emperor Doom in this situation. He's got a trait, the long arm of Doom's Law, giant reach of 4. He's got another trait, Master Strategist of the Thor Corps,
hmm
leadership, friendly characters with the police keyword within range consider each other adjacent when attacking. So he's got a huge leadership
hmm
reach. And then he's got the liquid uber body. And again, it's just a number of things that can do for him. The sculpt looks awesome.
It does.
And, I love that you can play the 4 of them at 400 points. I wish that there were more tournaments that were set at being 400 points, but at your local gaming stores or your comic book shops, as we start to play them in person again a lot more, this team, I can't wait to run it in a 400 point tournament. I really can't. Who do we have next?
Let's do Invisible Woman next. There we go.
Oh yes, the Invisible Woman design in the books is so cool, and
hmm
WizKids did such a good job of conveying it here. She really is just like these floating pieces of armor and a floating hammer and a floating cape. You don't actually see
Yeah.
her. Usually in the comic books they like to do like the you know
Stipples.
dots or like
Yeah. Pixelation
the
type of
little
thing almost.
hyphens all around her. Yeah,
Yeah.
just to show you where she is, even when she's invisible.
hmm
In the book, they don't do that. It's
It's
just
the
you just see the
floating.
helmet and the
Yeah.
hammer flying off to the side, and you see the lightning bolts and stuff.
Yeah.
But she's truly invisible in the books, and they do such a good job of conveying that here. You just see these
hmm
bracelets, this hammer, this helmet, and it's all just kind of floating there. She also has the Fantastic Thor's trait there, and she has a couple of really cool powers as well, appearing in a flash of lightning, smoke cloud as free, and also place Invisible Woman in a square within range of one of her smoke markers. After resolutions, remove the smoke marker in that square. So she has a way to place herself in different places around the map, and place is a huge word choice there. It's not move, it is place. So
Place.
she can
Yeah.
place herself in a square within range with one of her smoke markers. So that's really, really big. She also has Thunder Constructs, Barrier, and Defend. When Invisible Woman uses Barrier after resolutions, deal 1 damage to each opposing character adjacent to one or more of her barrier markers. So they really went all out. The
Yeah.
style design is fantastic. Um, yeah, you can see all the way down. She's got a ton of probability control,
Mhm.
all stealth throughout her dial. And I just love the way that she gets around the board. So again, WizKids, I love how they take, this was a big splash page, but that was basically it. There's not a lot else to go on. It was just like back in the day with Sinestro Batman. We had what if Batman joined the Sinestro Corps? Basically, it was a one-page splash page and a DC comic, and then they made a super rare out of it, or was it a chase? I can't remember. But WizKids made an actual figure out of that one page, and they're at their best when they get to take a little bit of license with what they're doing, and they went all out on these four particular
Yes,
figures.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, speaking of four, shall we look at the fourth?
yes,
Honestly, this
100%.
one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Oh, this Human Torch. First of all, Johnny Storm, Iceman, on the DC side, the Flash. These are characters that I love. I love the characters that are almost scared of how powerful they are and hide behind this mask of, I don't know, of immaturity or comedy. A lot of times joking because they're scared of what they can do if they
Mhm.
fully embrace how powerful they are. But this particular Johnny Storm, Jonathan Storm, looks like he knows exactly how powerful he can be, and he just goes for it.
Mhm.
He's got a trait called Divine Ignition, Poison. When Human Torch uses it, opposing characters within 2 squares are considered adjacent. He has the Flames of Muspelheim, and this is what I love. He is this Jonathan Storm, Surtur, like amalgam. And man, the sculpt is incredible.
It's
And the idea of all of this is
mhm.
incredible.
Mhm.
But he has this special attack power, penetrating psychic blast, range, make a ranged attack instead of normal damage, deal Human Torch's printed damage value to each hit character. And if you look at his range, he's got 7 range and he has 3 targets. He has 3 lightning bolts there, so he can target 3 at 3 damage apiece while he has that special attack power. And just like the other pieces, that really heavy duty special power appears 3 times on the dial. So with the thing, it's your stop clicks. With Human Torch here, it's that special 9 damage dealing ranged attack. And yeah, oof, it's pretty great. He's wearing the crown of Surtur. It is just I absolutely
It's
love this Human Torch. It might be
mhm.
my favorite Human Torch that I've ever seen before. And just like these other pieces that we showed here today, up until now, the only way to get them was to wait until August or late in the fall.
Mhm.
Not anymore. We have 4 sets of these that we are going to auction or put into tournament prizing or fellowship prizing, which fellowship is another big deal this year. Even though we have a Silver Age tournament,
Mhm.
those people who want to come out, they want to kind of try and figure out how to make a theme work, or are just awesome members of the community and just really great to each other and embody the spirit of this weekend, the idea that family is everything and that what we're doing here is really not just to benefit ourselves but to benefit other people. The players who really embody that, they're going to win just a huge amount of prizing as well. I think that TJ Bozilla, who I think is in the chat, we saw one of his sculpts earlier,
Mhm.
he actually won that through fellowship, through
Oh.
winning fellowship last year. And so it's just, we've got a lot of things going on, but there are a ton of ways for different levels of players to win these amazing prizes all weekend long. And I know some folks aren't going to be able to make it out throughout the course of the weekend. Like I said earlier, we have battle royales where I will be auctioning off in the auction online virtual battle royales to sit down and play with me. And the prizing will be pretty awesome for those battle royals. But if you're a player who can come, who's saying, man, I just don't know if I want to play in like the big meta tournaments. Well, some players aren't going to be able to make it. This might be your weekend to actually make a push, make a dent, like, play in a field where maybe we don't have all of the top, X amount of players, but still in a very competitive field. Or, we have a sealed event on Friday, we got a sealed event on Saturday, we got battle royales all weekend long. It's still a time to come and be a big part of the community and know that you're gonna take something home,
Mhm.
with you. for playing in some of those things for the most part. So there's a lot of different avenues for a lot of different levels of players or different fans of the community to really get involved. If you're a collector, the auction's for you. You know, if you are a more casual player, the battle royals, the sealed stuff, that's for you. And the coolest thing about the virtual battle royals, which I haven't talked about yet, and I guess we'll switch into other prizing here. Disney Plus is going to play a part in our prizing. We're going to have a couple of sealed bricks of Disney Plus that I know for sure we're going to have. And Disney Plus is going to be a part of the prizing for the sealed tournament. But for the battle royals, we are going to actually be able to play with Disney Plus virtually. So we have already virtually coded all of the dials for Disney Plus, and the virtual battle royals are going to be Disney Plus battle royals. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with. And you know, that's something we were able to do last year was do Wonder Woman, which nobody had really played with Wonder Woman at the time. And we were kind of the first place you could get a feel or a sense of playing with Wonder Woman. So the virtual battle royals are going to be Disney Plus. And like I said, we're going to have some Disney Plus things up for prizing. I may have mentioned earlier that my God pack that I pulled in my unboxing, I am putting up for auction this year. I am putting that up. And if anybody wants a pack of 5 chases from the upcoming Disney Plus set, and these chases are insane, they will be up for bid in our auction. I'm also putting the 2 primes that I pulled up for auction as well. So Prime Captain Carter and Prime US Agent, who are also both huge game-breaking pieces and are going to see a lot of play. So that will all be a part of our auction. But speaking of future things that that we're going to also have as prizing, there was an announcement made by WizKids last week about tarot cards. Anybody in the chat interested in the tarot cards, seeing what they do, what they're going to do, how they're going to change the game? Yeah. What about you, V? Are you
are you kidding me? Yes.
I know I emailed you the tarot card thing. And
what cards? What?
Wait, what?
There are cards? They're gorgeous too. Okay, so let's show, because these are just, they're, here we go.
Right. With tarot cards, you have to field a deck of at least 5 if you're going to play with them. And we have a small deck of 5 that are going to be up for auction for our event. We have the 7 of Cups. You can see Nimrod there floating on that. And when a character would use Mastermind, they actually, hold on, let me pull that up real quick.
Yeah, these cycle, so everyone can kind of keep seeing the pretties.
They cycle so fast. So you can see the what we've got there is a 7 of Cups. When a character uses Mastermind, they may choose a friendly character within 6 squares instead of adjacent. So, you know, an extended Mastermind there. And the cool thing about these, you know, with Pentacles, Swords, Cups, they all take one of the slots on a HeroClix dial, basically. So your movement, your attack, your defense, your damage. We've got the Queen of Pentacles. You can see Mystique there holding Destiny's Mask, which if anybody has read any of the X of Swords stuff, you know what happens afterwards with Mystique and Destiny and Inferno and all of those things to come. Characters can only move in direct paths, diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and can't change direction during movement. That is one of the cards that we have. We also have the let's see, where's the Wolverine one I've got here? Oh yeah, there we go. The 7 of Cups. When a character uses shape change, increase the result of the roll by +1. And then we've got 2 more. We've got the 3 of Swords. When a character uses Pulse Wave, this is the one that made me go, oh man, this is when a character uses Pulse Wave, they deal 2 damage instead of 1. And when they're dealing 2 damage to your entire force, if they can plan that Pulse Wave correctly, then yeah, it's pretty nasty. You know, with single target Pulse Wave kind of going away, now Pulse Wave gets a boost, and it gets a boost in a big way. So while this tarot card is active, your Pulse Wave characters are definitely getting a leg up. And the last one is Death. And Death, you see Storm there as the Horseman of Death, kind of, and you see characters can't heal. And you know, we're going to get way more information on how these things actually play, but you get what is basically a deck of unseen cards up to this point. And you can see there's a list online, but some of these come in the organized play events that'll be happening throughout the summer, and some of them come in boosters. So you will be able to have different avenues to earn these. But the first place you will be able to own any of these tarot cards is this small deck here. And we'll be announcing more about all of this stuff as we go along. We will only add to the pricing that we're talking about today. We'll not take anything away. So, you know, these 5 we wanted to preview here. And this deck also will be up to bid on in our auction. And I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And the artwork's stunning. I mean, it's just a great way to bring something fantastic, no pun intended, into the game.
Yeah, no, it's just incredible. I had these in hand. They're really great stock, and they look awesome. I mean, the artwork on these things, like you said, I play a tabletop game called Dixit, and some of the artwork on these cards kind of, you know, they have this. When you play Dixit, you look at the art on the cards and you have to figure out a word that you want, but they're beautiful. The coloring is wonderful and all these things. And each of these tarot cards, it's kind of like HeroClix Dixit a little bit, where you have this beautiful imagery and these superheroes that are usually you see in different ways, but the way they're put on here in the artwork, the way it's designed, it's just awesome job, WizKids. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely.
As Scott Crampton would say, brilliant WizKids. There we go.
There you go. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's all the visual goodies that we have. Is there anything else you want to share with our fantastic viewers who have been hanging out with us? Thank you so much, by the way, everyone. I've been popping in the link for you every so often. We are going to have a Q&A pretty soon. But before we get to that, is there anything else you want to share before we jump into getting some questions on the table?
Yeah, you know, I think we've covered most everything that I wanted to lay out for everybody as far as the pricing, as far as the events that we're going to have. Right now, I want to make sure that everybody is aware that if you can't take part at any way, shape, or form throughout the weekend, but you still want to support the cause, you can go to hdsa.org/HeroClix, and you can donate to HDSA directly through our event page that we have in conjunction with HDSA. This event is generously supported by WizKids. It is supported by Rock, and it is in partnership with HDSA. So if you cannot, you know, compete in any of the tournaments, if you can't bid on anything in the auction and you just want to give to the cause, or if you want to find out more about what Huntington's disease is and other ways that you can get involved, hdsa.org/HeroClix is your place to go. You know, we started this event last year after I heard the news that some testing that had been done on a couple of different hopeful medications as a way to stem the tide against Huntington's, they got to a pretty great place, and they started doing human trials, and it started not showing to be very good in defending the human body against Huntington's. And I thought at that point I had a lot of hope, and then all of it was dashed all in 1 month. And I heard these 2 trials that were going on back to back in February of last year, that the money for them was being pulled, and we were back to the drawing board. And the only way my wife doesn't face this thing is if we find a cure. And I was feeling pretty beat up, and I said, I got to do something. And May is Huntington's Disease Awareness Month. And I said, I want to do an event in May, but I want to do it with a community that I feel comfortable with. I want to do it with family. And I said, let me try it with HeroClix. And last year, the community went above and beyond expectations. We raised $30,000 for HDSA. And I'm so thankful and so full of appreciation. My heart is so full to everybody for taking part last year. And this year, I can't wait to do it all over again, but I can't wait to be face to face and actually rolling dice with people. So for anybody who wants to learn more about what we've got going on actually at the event, for people that can attend or people that do want to bid, you can go to HeroClixForHuntingtons.com. And there's a welcome letter that talks about my family, our struggles against Huntington's, why this is so important to me. And you'll get the full event schedule, all of the pricing, And in the next couple of weeks, we'll be populating all of the prizing in as well. That's everything I talked about today, as well as sealed factory sets, sealed chase sets. We have colossal sets from Hammer of Thor that are really, really cool that people just can't seem to find. We're as well as a ton of other prizing, like I said, sealed bricks of Disney Plus, and the unique prizing that we have, as well as the pogs, the maps, et cetera, et cetera. So stay tuned to that site, and you'll get a stronger understanding of where all that prizing is going to fit and what else we will have available in the auction. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Those are the two places you can go to find out more about it. And yeah, let's take your
Okay.
questions,
All
guys.
right.
I,
So
I love that they're in chat. Can't wait to talk.
question time. So if you have a question that you want me to ask Scott, you need to get into the chat right now. Type in caps your question in caps and then your question following, and let's start seeing what is on all your mind. And just for goofing around, because I'm seeing a question without a question. Have I played Wild Beyond the Witchlight, darling? I'm a Dark Lord, and we'll just leave it at that.
Yes, that's
um,
awesome.
but yeah, let's see here. So personally for myself, because we obviously are in the second one, um, even though you're planning the second one, are you already starting to think about third and what you're going to be doing for that yet? Or but you do have
Oh
intentions
yes,
for third one?
yes. We are going to avoid this particular weekend in years to come. This was, like I said, the only weekend we could do it this year, and
Right.
I had to ask myself, do we want to do it at all, or you know, what can we do? It needs to be in May. That's
Hmm.
Huntington's Disease Awareness
Yeah.
Month. That's one of the biggest cornerstones of this event, is making sure that we do it at a time when we are talking about Huntington's disease the most, and so this just helps amplify. And it had to be in May, but yes, we're already thinking for next year. Second week of
Fantastic.
May, outside of this weekend,
So
but making sure that was why it was so important today to
yeah.
show people the possibilities that you can do with the legacy card, the possibilities of the bystander token. And there may be some very cool additional things coming down the pike next year, and I'm talking merchandise that might not just be like in pog form, that we are already spinning our wheels about, trying to figure
Hmm.
things out. So yeah, we are looking at growing this thing. This year we are going to have, we're going to have t-shirts available this year. I know coffee mugs, we had coffee mugs last year and they went like
Oh, I'm
gangbusters. We're going to have
sure.
more coffee mugs this year. So I know people are excited to support the event in so many ways, and we're taking all of that feedback. And trust me, we're taking all the feedback that we're already getting,
Mhm.
and we're already spinning that into next year as well. Trust me, the amount of times that Howard Brock has said to me, "Oh, hey, Will Scott, I was just thinking, maybe not for this year, but for next year." I
Mhm.
was like, Howard, we can't just, let's put a pin in
Mhm. Mhm. Stick a
it.
pin in
So yeah,
it.
the wheels are turning though, definitely. And this is an annual event. It's going to happen every single
Good to
year,
know.
and it's going to be a big, like, kind of like summer convention launch event, I think,
Mhm.
in years future, where people just look at this spring and summer of gaming, and HeroClix for Huntington is going to be right in the heart of that.
Fantastic. So I'm going to ask you Friday Night Clix's question. Is there a raffle this
Mhm.
year during the weekend?
Yes. So one of the things about raffles is that in many states in the US, they are considered gambling,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of different rules that govern those things. You can do raffles virtually sometimes, but now that we have an in-person element, I don't think that the raffle will be a big part of what we're doing going forward. That being said, you could see, the possibility of, if you play in a battle royal, you do get a free entry into this one prize that we'll hand out, raffle style at the end. But that's no longer really gambling. That is, you are paying to play in a battle royal. Everybody
Yes.
is receiving something, and then there is an additional prize that could be won, and that is something that you could see. But straight up raffles, we were able to do last year because of the virtual nature of our event. But now that we have an in-person element, Alabama does not actually allow charity and gambling to coincide.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, no raffles this year, but we'll take some of that pricing and make sure it has other avenues for ways to be won, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So going to the next question that's starting with
Mhm.
question. Like I said, make sure you're doing that. Y'all, I used to be a teacher. I'm not kidding around here. So, question coming from Story Kill. When will Scott be on the EagleCast? Looking forward to the event, in parentheses.
Oh, on the Eagle cast, was that the when I will be?
Yeah, when will you be on the EagleCast is the question.
I mean, what are the guys on EagleCast that I are at this point? I think we're arch enemies. I think he's proclaimed me arch enemies. No, I'd love to get on EagleCast. I'd love to really make the rounds. Unfortunately, the first person I have to apologize to is Tony Bruno. He had an amazing event that was charity based as well, and I have been stranded in Canada. I am up here a month longer than I initially thought I would be, shooting a second season of this Netflix show, Ginny and Georgia, that I'm a part of. And I have not been able to go home. Canada has much different rules on travel and all of those things currently than the
Mhm.
United States. So me getting home to get
It's
prize support, to get my hands on things, to help people out has been tricky. And my schedule has been, you know, 60 plus hour weeks, week over week. And it's been tough to jump on, but I would love to do rounds. Eagle cast, if you're willing to have me, I am more than willing to jump on, whether it's before or after the event. Yeah, I'd love to mix it up. Again, it's so cool that in this community we have so many different people talking about this game, and it's just everything's so conversational. I listen to all of these podcasts, by the way, and I love hearing everybody's thoughts. And it's really helpful for me as I go into every unboxing, because I feel like I'm in touch with the community, because so many people have these cool shows. So EagleCast, yeah, I'm on the way, man.
there you go. Okay, Jackson S asks, "Will you be singing the HeroClix song you did on Whose Line in person at the event?"
Well, that depends on whether or not we have a karaoke machine. No, I'm kidding.
Mm.
It really depends on whether or not I can get the rights from Wayne Brady, because on Whose Line Is It
Mm.
Anyway, anything he performs, he gets the rights to, so that nobody can imitate or redo any of his
Mm.
brilliance. I've known Wayne for a long time, actually. I don't think the community knows this, but him and I both worked at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, in the Beetlejuice's uh, Universal Monster
Oh,
Graveyard Review.
yeah.
He played Fan of the Opera. I played all three of Wolfman, Dracula, and Frankenstein, and I did it for a number of years. There were a lot of people that
Oh,
performed in
that's
that
cool.
show, but Wayne and I have mixed it up for a long time. I was a beatboxer. That's how I broke into the business, and he is incredibly talented in so many different ways. And he used to perform, and I would beatbox, and he would improv, rap, or sing, or create songs over the top of my
Mhm.
beatbox with an old group of mine. So yeah, we've known each other for a long time. So I'll tell you what, if we can get Wayne Brady to the event, yes, I'll do the song.
Oh,
But I
there you
think
go.
the chances of that are kind of
Stick a pin in
small.
that for next year. Okay, this question is coming from Becky Zat. Oh, please forgive Zatuluko. I think it might be the last name. Question: Would you
Yeah.
consider another location next year? Maybe something more central like KC or Omaha.
I'm originally from Omaha. I love Omaha, but this event is in conjunction with Rock, and their headquarters is out of Alabama, and they have been so instrumental in getting this thing going. I do think that we have had conversations of whether or not this could work somewhere else. I don't think that the answer is 100% no, year over year. But you know, Howard Brock, Lucky Dice, and I, we all got together, and we were kind of both battling things within our families. And this is so important to both of us. And Howard is an incredible man. He's an incredible partner. And for me, family; for him, home. They are very, very big parts of what this event kind of stands for. So I think for the time being, you can count on it kind of being with Lucky Dice. I don't know 100% that we would never do it somewhere else, but again, that's one of those things we put a pin in, thinking year over year. Remember, this is the first time that we're doing this in person, and I think we needed to give it we need to give it a really fair shot. And
Yeah.
I think we have a very strong chance of this being super successful. And you know, I I know the Omaha Clix crew is strong. They run thick, but I think for right now, Southeast is where we are, and for the time being, we're gonna stay there.
Okay, great. Ninja Moogle wants to know how bad was that hand cramp after signing all those Clix goodies you did last year?
I
You did
mean, it
sign a good
wasn't
amount.
so much the signing as it was I mailed out every single one of those
Oh,
prizes myself. And
that takes
my
work.
wife, yeah, my wife actually got recruited into it towards the end to really just help me to get everything out the door.
Hmm.
But I packaged and sent every single one of those things. And I'm not a storefront. This was all of this prizing was in my home. I hand packaged all of it. I don't have like a cool, I don't have a shipping center in my house. So
No,
it
it's
was it was it was more the, all of that. The
yeah.
signing stuff is easy. I've been doing that for a number of years in my life. So that the signing stuff wasn't bad. It was the mailing of everything. So that's another big reason that I'm super happy to have Howard as a partner, because
Hmm.
they are professionals at this stuff, and everything will get to you guys much quicker and much more soundly than it did from me.
Oh, I'm not going to ask that question. I am going to ask this question though. Hunter Kovacs wants to know what was your favorite pieces that you revealed today?
Ooh, Hunter, good to hear from you, man. Yeah, ooh, I gotta say the Human Torch. I gotta say the Human Torch, and I gotta say the spirit of the game too, just because, and it's such a weird thing, but it made me whatever. I'm not embarrassed about it. It made me oddly emotional when I saw Spirit of the Game,
Yeah.
because it's everything that I had hoped this event would stir up in people.
Hmm.
Um, it's such an amazing community. Family is at the core of the weekend. And that, when I saw that piece, I said, this is it, man. This is
Yeah.
what we wanted to do. This is what we set out to do. And it is making an impact, and both game wise, but also community wide. What I saw out of the community, the outpouring of love and generosity and support for not just this event, but for other events last year, it just really put into focus how incredible this community is
Hmm.
and how tight knit we are.
Yeah.
And now it's about growing that and bringing new people in and showing them how great we are. And I think doing this event, which is for a foundation that, like HDSA, which has a lot of reach outside of just this gaming community, um, people are starting to take notice. And I think that's really cool that this HeroClix fan base and family base is getting the attention that it rightfully deserves. So, Human Torch, and then, yeah, Spirit of the Game for sure.
Okay, fantastic. And just FYI, chat, we're probably going to call this in about, let's say the on the 15-minute mark for
Yeah.
everyone, because we've been talking for over an hour now. So just keep in mind we may not get to all of these questions, and I see y'all are very chatty, which is fantastic. And thank you so much for hanging out. So I'm going to go to Daryl M's question. Scott, if you were clixed, which two powers would you have?
Oh man. Well, I was kind of clicked already the last year, but I was trying to get hypersonic speed. I'm a big fan of speedsters. It doesn't matter if it's the Flash.
Mhm.
I love Quicksilver. Quicksilver has been one of my favorite characters for a long time, and I love speedsters absolutely. So hypersonic speed would have to be one of them, and then my nickname at most of the venues I've played at over time has been Mr. One Less. If I need an 8, I'm rolling a 7. If I need a 5, I'm rolling a 4. That is just what happens to me. So any way to get that extra that extra
Yeah.
attack die. So probably I would probably need probability control or some other way to, RCE could help with that. A little range
Yeah.
combat expert,
Yeah.
so yeah, I would say hypersonic speed and probably probability control. If not, then a little ranged combat expert. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is from John Murillo. What was the first HeroClix figure that you got when you discovered HeroClix that convinced you that this was the game you wanted to get involved in?
I've shared this story before, and it's really easy. The day that Infinity Challenge dropped, and I bought 4 boosters, and that day, myself and my best friend, my brother Rick Dunn, who's no longer with us, actually, he pulled Fire Lord out of his booster, and I pulled Cyclops out of mine, and we decided to just play with what we pulled. And the other figures that we had weren't I think there was a puppet master. I think there was a constrictor, and everybody knows how useless that guy was. But my Cyclops versus his Fire Lord, those two pieces went at it.
Mhm.
And I immediately was hooked. It was these two heavyweights, this character in Cyclops that I knew very, very well. And this other character in Fire Lord that I have some early issues of Silver Surfer that my older foster brother Justin had passed down to me, and I had one book with Fire Lord in it, and I was just like, he's such a random character, but he's so powerful. This is awesome. So yeah, so Cyclops and Fire Lord from those first couple of Infinity Challenge boosters that I pulled, they hooked me right away, and it sent me on my journey with HeroClix. I as a player, I was an envoy at Coliseum of Comics in Orlando, Florida for a few years in a couple of different gaming stores down there. I
Mhm.
played in Worlds a couple of times. I went to the big Wizard World conventions, and it all was because of those kind of that first day with my brother Rick and those two pieces for the most part. So
Okay, fantastic.
yeah.
Okay, next question. And again, folks, you got to make sure you're putting in question in caps with your question and make sure the questions are relevant. Next question that came up is when should we expect the Disney Plus Iceman series starring Scott Porter? I had to reach that one.
Oh man, I wish, I mean, at this point anything's possible on
Mhm.
Disney Plus. I mean, with the Fox merger, the whole thing, now they've got their Netflix shows, and I mean, it's just Disney Plus is everything now, which is why I'm like, I'm already seeing a Disney Plus 2 set coming out for HeroClix at some point, like in my head. Like I have no that's it's not inside baseball. I don't know for sure. Let me just say
This
that.
is
But
completely just off the cuffs
they could
chatting.
exactly. But they could easily do like a Disney Plus set too,
Mhm.
with the Hawkeye figures and the Netflix, because at the end of Hawkeye, you've got the Netflix Kingpin who comes into play, which means that opens up the door to all those existing shows.
Mhm.
So yeah, the I wouldn't be surprised to see some mutant based television shows coming out. I might be a little long in the tooth to play Iceman anymore, unless they want to go with like a younger generation of mutants. So they want to make the original five into like older, more distinguished
Mm,
heroes. Then yeah,
I like
I'd
that
be all
take.
about it, man. Bobby
Very
Drake,
cool.
everybody out there knows my Iceman 425 is my HC Realms handle, and Iceman, I'm for the longest time has been my favorite character,
Mhm.
hands down, and he still is to this day.
Fantastic. Okay, I'm going to ask this one from Damian Davis. What non Marvel or DC franchise would you like to introduce to HeroClix? Again, this is all speculation. This is not gospel or going to be happening, but that's a fun question.
Pokemon. Yeah, I just if I could we could have Pokemon and HeroClix.
Could you imagine?
That's like that's my head would
Yeah, I'm
like
like,
my
that's
head would
just everything just.
explode, and I mean, can you? Yeah, that would be my thing. If we're talking comic book franchises, um, I mean, there's some of the newer books like Saga, stuff like that. Some of those characters are really, really cool. And the artwork is just so incredible. And who doesn't want Lion Cat as a hero click? But yeah, I Pokemon is always my first go-to. What non like comic book, thing would I love to see in HeroClix form? And that would be really, really cool. I think there'd be a really interesting way to play that on the map too. To throw out and recall,
Yeah.
pieces. I think that would be a really cool game mechanic to
Yeah.
explore. So yeah, I would say Pokemon.
Okay, fantastic. Now, we are pretty much getting close to our end time. So, before we wrap this up, is there anything you would like to share with the fantastic community who's been hanging out with us this evening before we say our goodbyes?
Yeah, I think one question that didn't get asked here that I think I do need to answer, and I think is on a lot of people's minds, is we are Silver Age this weekend, and the Scott Porter Invitational Hero Clicks for Huntington's Rock National Championship Tournament
Yes.
is Silver Age, and a lot of people have been asking me, hey, are you going to ban this? Are you going to ban such and such? Because last year we had a very long ban list. This year, we are in tune with WizKids watch list. We are going to, any changes that happen to the watch list this week, we're going to allow those to affect our tournament. But As of next Friday, that would be, what is that date? The 22nd.
Yes.
As of Friday, April
Yes.
22nd, if something's not, already on the watch list, that is the watch list we will be using. That is the ban list we will be using for our tournament. So expect Thanos, expect ID cards, expect all of these things. We want the meta to be able to kind of start to play itself out. We don't want to affect it. We don't want to try and limit anything. And last year we had a big theme tournament. And I think in years going ahead, we'll still be trying to do some more of those things. But thought it was really cool, this kind of switch to Silver Age, that we would just let everything come out to play and let you guys start to establish what the new meta is going to be and see the evolution of the game as it should be without too many outside influences. So I wanted to address that because I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that on my socials and such. So wanted to let you guys know, and I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you so much for last year. Thank you so much for this year, and I can't wait to see what happens next month and in the years to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone. Take care. If you've missed the beginning of this, you'll be able to catch it on VOD right away on both Twitch and YouTube. And until later on, stay tuned for more. And make sure you're following WizKids socials so that you can get the most latest news and up-to-date information as possible. And I think we're going to leave everyone with that. Do you want to do any particular special sign off before we go?
I just want to say also a round of applause and thank you to you, V, for volunteering your time for today. It
Happy
means
to
the
do it.
world to me. James, thank you for running the chat. I will see you guys all at HeroClix for Huntington.
No, no, no.
Let me rewind that.
Back up.
I can't wait to see all of you guys at the HeroClix for Huntington's event weekend, whether it's in person or online. But until I do, may all your rolls be critical hits.